like if we want to change ourselves, we have to dive in. We have to really dive into that and be like, okay, I need to change this. So I need to come from the inside. And then because we know what's going to happen is what we're going to project on the external is going to be the change that other people see and what we see.
Hey
So
guys,
yeah.
you know I'm all about healthy nutrition, and I have a brand new product I want to tell you about called Athletic Greens. This is not just a multivitamin. It has 75 essential elements that you want to have in your diet, from probiotics to greens to digestive enzymes to prebiotics. There's so many things that they pack into the Athletic Greens. The main reason why I love them is it puts it all in one place. Like literally you'd have to a la carte buy all of these different supplements, and they do it all in one package. So if you go to athleticgreens.com/Jimmy, and you can get a special discount if you go there, and the discount is you get a free 1-year supply of their vitamin D as well as some of their travel packs. Go check it out, you guys. athleticgreens.com/Jimmy. So I'm curious, in your practice, and I know there's a lot of new modalities that have come into the realm of chiropractic and alternative health in general. Have you done any cupping therapy as well? Are you familiar with that?
So I am familiar with it, and we do it. It's not like a thing we do with every patient. Maybe when someone comes in really flared up, we may do it. But in our office, honestly, like we're pretty hands-on. It's like pretty straightforward chiropractic care of removing the misalignments in the spine and allowing the body to communicate better with the brain communicate better with the body. Because I know when that's happening, that communication is happening, the body is going to heal like it should, it's going to function like it should, and it's going to adapt like it should.
Yeah. Desiree wanted to know where you are. Greenville, South Carolina. He's just down the road from me. We're South Kakalakians here. So. So I asked about the cupping thing. I did a session of cupping, and I've done chiropractic many times as well.
Yeah.
I really remember it happening with chiropractic, but I want to know your feedback. Do you ever do an adjustment on someone and it creates this emotional response? It's like you release this emotional energy from within people, from traumas in their past, from other things. You're smiling, so I know yes is the answer. And it just seems like it's almost a physical thing that releases emotional tension that needs to be erased. And then the thoughts flood their mind. Like, do you almost feel like you're a therapist at that point talking?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because most people wouldn't even view chiropractic as that, like of something like that even happening. So let's take the example of, let's say we have a deer that's grazing in the wild, right? And this deer hears a hunter or some type of, a prey or whatever. The deer is grazing, and then the deer will get into its fight or flight state and is going to run away, right? Get to a safe place. And then the deer is going to go back to grazing. It's not thinking about what just happened, right? It's literally not like, it's not like, oh man, I can't believe they try to take me out, or I can't, like, they're going to go back to doing what they're doing. Like, it's just, they're part of nature, right? And so with that being said, is that with humans, if we come into a stressful state, whether it's emotional, whether it's a physical state, but we come in this stressful state, we have the ability to continue perpetuating the same thing that had happened to us. And like literally we perpetuate it in our mind, because the mind doesn't know the difference between reality and what we imagine. It's going to respond the exact same way. That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the beauty.
That sympathetic nervous system can kick in at any given point, and all you got to do is think of it. You don't even have to be experiencing it. And it's even like very ancestral if you stop and think about it. It's primal, deep within our minds of back in hunter-gatherer days. If they had to run away from a saber-toothed tiger, they had to go, and they had to fly. And so what are we doing in modern society? We're constantly having saber-toothed tiger thoughts all the time, based on all the stresses in our life, the boss yelling at us at work, kids acting ornery. And I know you've got some beautiful kids. I love it.
Thank you.
Your interaction with your kids is one of the best on the Instagram page. So Yeah, it just all of these things that keep us in that worked up thing, which makes it harder for you when you try to give an adjustment. If you got tight muscles around that spinal cord, it's hard
Yeah.
for you to do your job.
Yeah. And so obviously how we're able to keep and perpetuating this thing is, so in life, like we're supposed to, I think we're here to learn, to grow, and evolve. And we're supposed to, when we come in contact with any experience, we're supposed to integrate this and like process this experience into us and who we are, so we can continue to grow, learn, and evolve. Okay. So what happens is when we have a traumatic experience, it can be too traumatic where at the point that we don't fully integrate that experience, and it can get locked in our system and get
Yes,
locked in the nervous system, right?
yes,
And so when you say have I adjusted someone and they literally just bawled out crying, like it wasn't that it hurt or anything like that. It was like they had this big emotional release that happened because they didn't fully integrate their experience that happened 10, 20 years ago. And when they got adjusted, that was the integration. That was a piece that they needed to fully like integrate that. And I was like let it out. Like this is what you need in this very moment. Like, and it has happened a few times. And I'm like, this is completely normal because they are people like, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, it's completely normal.
out. Let the tears flow. Yeah, Scooter mentioned massage and acupuncture have done the same kind of release in people,
Yeah,
and I remember the chiropractors I've been to, and I'm sure you have this on your walls as well, but you see the spinal system, and there's little lines that say, okay, this is the part of the body that's like for the kidneys function, and da, da, da. I'm sure there's parts of the spine that if you adjusted a certain part, it would be part of that release, or maybe just this general chiropractic in general. I don't know if there's a specific area of the spine that would be connected to that. Maybe it's based on what trauma you had as well. Like
yeah,
where
yeah.
trauma took place. Was it physical trauma? Was it emotional trauma, sexual
Hmm.
trauma, whatever? I'm assuming that matters too.
Yeah, yeah. It depends on where we're adjusting, and yeah, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to help people facilitate these experiences that they probably would have never fully integrated and processed. I've had patients come in where they've had issues, physical pains like chest pain, and they've gotten all the tests, they've done all the labs, and no one can find anything. But they're experiencing this thing, and people think they're going crazy because no one can find anything, but they're not looking in the right place. And so all I do is ask the question like, hey, when did this start happening? 20 years ago. What happened 20 years ago? Did you have a type of car accident? Did someone pass away? Oh, my grandmother passed away. That's when it started happening.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're on to something. And I get them thinking, and then we get them adjusted, and we get them adjusting the rhythm, and then eventually they're like, I don't have the chest pain anymore. Yeah, you don't. We're able to fully integrate the experience that you had 20 years ago, that you didn't integrate because it was just too much for your system. Yeah.
Right. And think about it. Like, I don't think we give enough credence, and I'm glad you're talking about this here today. I'm enjoying the conversation, by the way,
Yeah, no,
Raymond.
I love it.
I don't think we give enough credence to the impact of unresolved emotional pain on
Mm,
physical body. I know there's studies out there. There was one big study that actually tied childhood trauma and traumatic experiences, even just from an emotional standpoint, with physical things later in life, like heart disease, diabetes, obesity, all the things that are chronic diseases.
gotcha.
Go see your doctor about it. And the doctor's like, eat a low fat diet, eat less calories, move more. Here, take this pill to appetite suppress yourself. And then you keep getting worse and worse and worse. The trauma still hasn't resolved. You're still getting worse. It's this inevitability of kind of the mainstream medicine that just frustrates me. I've been at this 17 years trying to preach the gospel of just so frustrating that we're still stuck in that. It's good that we have bright lights like yourself out there showing a different way, but I feel like most people, they stay stuck in their malaise because they don't
Hmm.
know there's another way.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's very unfortunate too. That some people will stay stuck in it. Yeah, and that's the reality of it. And there is someone out there to be able to hopefully help shed light. Because I've seen that when people walk in the door, most of the time, if they don't have this mindset, right? Most of the time they have a mindset of, I'm coming in, I have pain, like I need help with this pain,
Yes.
right? I need help with this thing. And when they come in, obviously talking to them, getting to see like, okay, what's going on, see what their goals are, and then we just dive deeper into it. And
Yeah.
like, this is a bigger problem than what they thought, right? It didn't just happen overnight. It happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but they thought it just showed up, but it's been happening essentially. And so I just got to make sure I just dive deeper and deeper into that and know like, hey, this is impacting your life, right? And like, do you want to correct this or do you want to just suppress the symptom? Like, there's enough people that are suppressing the symptoms, right? If you want to correct this, again, we can go on this journey and we can actually get this corrected. And so they're not able to, they're able to just be curious enough
Yes.
and just go down this journey. And so those people they won't be stuck in that pattern essentially. Because I tell my patients all the time, I say like, we're big on education in our office because I feel that educated people make educated decisions most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in my industry, the similar thing to people coming in to see you for pain, in my industry, they want to lose weight. And what they find, they come in to lose weight, but then they realize they're actually coming in to get healthy, which has a nice little side effect called weight loss. And a
Boom.
lot for pain relief, that has a nice little side effect of pain relief. Like they come in for one reason, I guess if that's the draw that brings them in, so be it.
Yeah. So be it. Yeah.
But the buy-in factor is based on one precipice, but then you get the real solution once you're there. And I love that you're doing that, by the way.
Yeah. No, that's huge. I absolutely love that. It's a great analogy. And that's exactly what happens in the office here. Yeah.
Let's talk about mindset, because I know a lot of your posts on Instagram, and guys,
Mm-hmm.
again, look him up over on Instagram, Dr. Raymond Nichols. And yeah, you're all the time posting mindset types. So you post a lot of things, but the mindset one, just kind of getting people to reframe things. I feel like a lot of what people think they know is just because it's what they've always known. They've never looked outside the box. I've always been a how far outside the box can I think?
That's me.
That I like to push the boundaries of what the box says I'm supposed to do and be and all the things. What do you think holds people back? Is it just familiarity and comfortability with what they know, or is it something deeper than that?
I'm going to say let's go back to the just that ancestral brain, right? Because I think what we have lost is that I feel like since like technology is just out this world, right? Like it's just so advanced, you know. I feel that we think since we're so advanced in the technological world, we think that the human being is also advanced to that point too. And I'm gonna say we're not. I'm gonna say because this process of evolution takes a long time to happen, and I'm gonna say that we're not as advanced as we think we are. And the reason why I say is because we have this ancestral brain that again, if someone comes in here and want to rob the place or whatever, like I'm gonna go in my fight or flight. I'm gonna go to the ancestral brain. Like that's the first thing I'm gonna do because I want to either fight or I want to get away, right? And so with that being said, um, since we have this ancestral brain, so anything outside of our norm or familiarity, it's a threat to our like it's literally like it's like this is a life or death thing. Like that's what the brain is telling us. Right? Any type of change that we try to make, anything that we try to do that's outside of the norm, and that's going to cause resistance and pain, like the brain doesn't want to do that. Like that. So I think it's more so of having the knowledge that yes, I know my brain doesn't want to do this because of this, but most people don't. They don't know the why behind it. You know what I mean? Like I think it's all mindset, and they don't know how the brain works.
They don't want to know the why behind it. And that's the thing.